If I'm paying $7 for a cup of coffee, I'm gonna judge it. You know?
Yeah, you want to be entertained.
Yeah.
You want it all.
So I want some consistency.
Have they ever drawn your face in the foam for
No.
you? Oh,
No,
man.
they don't.
You're not there yet.
No.
Huh?
But Maureen at Nectar, she's a really great lady.
Yeah.
She's like in her 50s.
Yeah. Is she the owner?
Yeah. It's a oil and vinegar place.
Oh.
Like they have all this like bougie, like organic food, condiments and stuff, and their main selling point is oil and vinegar.
Oh, cool.
So like real olive oil from
Like the real deal.
the real shit. Like you have to have a license to sell this stuff,
Which is
You can't
really
just sell
healthy
it.
for you, right?
Yeah. They
if
have
it's-
some that she was like, I don't even put this on salad. I just take a shot of it. It's got so many like they call it what the hell is it called? Like
Antioxidants?
polyphenols, which is like a big antioxidant. It's supposed to like be regenerative and restorative and stuff. And there's all science behind it, you know.
There's some shit that I've seen online about it where it's like so healthy for you to take a shot a day, but it has to be the right kind of stuff. You can't get the shit at like Shaw's or Trukey's and expect it to be good for you.
Well, yeah, because a lot of that stuff is blends. I guess it could be from Italy. It could be from like somewhere. Where the fuck's Morocco? I don't know.
It's on off the coast of Africa, isn't it?
So like a lot of those places also have olive oil, but it's not real olive oil unless it comes from Italy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I want to go to Morocco.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care if
I think Michelle's going like a couple weeks. Yeah.
To Morocco?
Yeah. She's missing the tattoo convention. I'm very sad about it, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
Morocco, that's a cool destination, huh?
Yeah.
Like, is that like one stop of like several spots, or she's going just
I think
to
she's
Morocco?
going there. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
She's always
Vacation.
going somewhere cool.
She likes to travel and see nice places. She's like, I'm going to make this count.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go to like New Hampshire or something. She's like, no, I'm going to Morocco.
Oh, that's awesome. Her and her husband?
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool.
But, anyway, so yeah, Nectar's been there 10 years. They opened up when we opened up.
Oh, yeah?
And I think Coffee Depot was closed and I wanted a coffee. So I went down the street and I was like, you guys have coffee? And she was like, yeah. It's her and her son works for her too. Her son's actually the barista. And their coffee is top notch. There's not a lot of flavors. They don't have like all this like super frou-frou like coffee shots and stuff like that. It's just like coffee or like a latte. It's very robust. It's very like it's well made, and it's really really good.
You drink it black?
No. I like a little cream, a little sugar. This is actually a latte though. I'm a latte guy too, so
I started doing.
I like it strong though, strong latte.
Oh yeah. I started doing black coffee on the new year, trying to slim down a little bit, cut corners when I can, and one of the things that stuck, well, probably the only thing that stuck was no cream or sugar in my coffee. Yeah. I ate good for like a week, and then I got back into my usual
It's little changes, you know? It's stuff like that, like... You change one thing. Yeah. You try to change like 3 or 4 things. It's that's tough.
How many calories is cream and sugar in 2 cups of coffee per day, 7 days a week?
I mean,
that's a lot of calories, right? So
it can be. Yeah.
And I don't really eat like shit. I eat pretty good, but
I usually go for the sugar-free stuff now. Yeah. But I heard even that's not even that great for you. You know.
Yeah, aspartame. That shit's garbage. So that's terrible.
But it's fucking delicious. That's for sure.
Yeah. Are we recording?
Now we are.
Okay.
But I kind of started on the fly. Really? On a Monday? Okay.
Someone needs some ink on a Monday. Clearly, they don't know that every tattoo shop on the planet is closed on a Monday, right?
For real.
Yeah. Oh, well. Maybe it's a bill collector.
I hope not. They've been chasing us. Here, put that in a little more.
How's that? Is that better?
That's great. That's perfect.
All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's not I know it probably feels like it's right in your face, but
that's all right.
That's all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
You look good. You sound good.
Well, thanks so much for having me on,
man. Of course, man.
Great.
Let me do a little intro for you.
All right.
What's up, guys? This is the Inkaholics with Fred Chino. I don't have Michelle with me, but in place, I have something possibly even better.
No way.
This is my buddy Jeff Burt. He is a huge figure in the tattoo scene on the East Coast. He's an owner of 2 tattoo shops in Massachusetts, Pleasure and Pain. He is a personal friend and mentor of mine. I've known him about 10 years. No, longer, probably. No, about 10 years.
It's been about a decade. Because we met at the Providence Tattoo Convention that was held in 2014.
Yep.
I guess 11 years now.
And this is a good segue. Funny enough, we met at the Providence Tattoo Convention. Providence in Rhode Island has had a rocky relationship with tattoo conventions.
Yeah.
There's been several different hosts or promoters that have been trying to do tattoo conventions in Rhode Island. And for some reason, it never sticks.
I know.
And knock on wood, Jeff is doing a tattoo convention at the end of August, right? You're doing this thing. And I know that you've wanted to do a convention for a long time. It's always been like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this and that? And well,
it was pre-COVID.
Now it's happening, you know?
Yeah, pre-COVID, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And we were actually negotiating with a casino down in Rhode Island about using their convention center and hosting it there. And then when COVID hit and the world shut down, we couldn't talk to anybody for several months over there. And then when we finally started, talking to them again and renegotiating, the person that we talked to was gone, and there was like a new person of contact, and they didn't want it. They didn't want to host a tattoo convention there because I think the casino was was about to be under new management. I think a bigger conglomerate or whatever bought it. And
I mean, you guys are talking about opening up a shop in a casino too.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
weren't you talking about? You were talking with somebody about it though.
Well, they're gonna someday. That casino's coming to Taunton, Mass.
Yeah.
I think they're calling.
Sorry, should I not have brought that up? Is this still under contract or something?
No.
Right.
Like they haven't even broke ground yet.
All right.
It's like 5 years away if it ever does happen. Super controversial in the town. Half the people want it in town, the other half doesn't. But if it ever does come, I definitely entertain that.
Yeah.
Opening up a little satellite shop.
That's cool.
In a convention center.
Hell yeah.
A casino.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be really cool, man. I wonder if it's got to be tough now too, because the market's changed so much for tattooing, you know,
how so?
Well, it's funny enough, we were talking about this last podcast, is pre-COVID, things were pretty good, pretty steady. COVID happened, and then after it, we had this huge tattoo boom.
Oh, the golden
You had all
age.
the golden. Dude, I don't know. I felt like it was a blip.
Yeah.
You had all these people with stimulus checks burn a hole in their pockets, and they were like, "I need tattoos. I've been stuck in the house for 4 months.
Yeah.
I need to get out there. I need a tattoo. I need therapy."
Yep.
And I think all of this stuff,
they couldn't do anything.
Right?
Barely go to restaurants.
I think all that stuff coincides with each other, especially therapy too. The amount of people that use tattooing as therapy is
real.
It's huge, right?
Real,
so then you have all these people plus it's summertime. We didn't start back up until June, I think. June or July, and that's when we started ripping again. Dude, I was getting called, I don't know about you, but I was getting called 30, 40 calls a day.
I know.
Emails.
Crazy.
It was insane. I didn't have enough people to quench the tattoo thirst and the local population needed these things, and then then you had all these new artists coming in, and they're like, this shit's really good. I didn't know tattooing was this good. And then shit got normal again.
Yeah.
And then it even dipped. I think it got worse than pre-COVID levels, know,
I agree.
It was so it's almost been tough. So the thought of opening up another tattoo shop right now for me
terrifies you.
It's a little scary. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most lucrative days that we've ever had at my shop was it wasn't even a day that we put a single tattoo on skin. It was the day that when we first got back to the shop, we knew that there was going to be a lot of interest. We knew that there was going to be a shit ton of people that wanted to get in. So we set up a couple tents outside, and we did a day of consults. So we had like 3 or 4 tables set up, and we had a couple tents set up, and everything was 6 feet apart and all that shit. Mm-hmm. And we just put it out there and we said, look, we're going to be starting back up real soon. Like today's the day. Come on down and get a consult with the artist of your choice. Something like that. Well, we had a freaking line around the building, Fred. Like,
that's
awesome. It was crazy. We just did consults, $100 deposits all day long.
Yeah.
Times like 7 artists. So we made bank that day. It was crazy. And it was like, money-wise, it was probably like the best day that we've ever had. And not a single tattoo was done. And then like once we did that, like we just hit the ground running, man. We just started just doing long hours and like staying late and coming in on our days off because like the money was there.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do with it.
No, yeah, dude, no doubt. Yeah.
But it was
if you were a new tattoo artist around that time, it was like, holy shit.
Yeah, jackpot.
I didn't know.
Right?
Yeah. Why doesn't everybody do this?
I know. Well, that's right around the time that Paul Entris started with me.
I love Paul.
Yeah,
he's such a good dude.
I love him. I love him to death.
I'm sorry we missed you last week, man.
Okay.
I completely spaced that you were in town.
Yeah.
And that's when I was getting my new truck.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Can you come down today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can meet there."
Yeah,
so
no problem. I missed you guys by like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So good. No. I was on the other side of town meeting with Marilyn Mott.
Yeah.
The daughter of Buddy Mott.
Okay, so explain a little bit of this to people that don't know. This is a little bit of tattoo history here. So
Buddy Mott was like, he started tattooing in Newport, Rhode Island, and brother, I think it was like 1948 when he started. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he was the man. He was the guy that was tattooing all the sailors and bikers and everybody in between for years.
Yeah.
And Marilyn started tattooing with him. I don't know exactly when, but she started with him.
You said this is a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
She started with him, 20 or 30 years after that, maybe in the 80s. I'll have to ask her. I'm not sure. But what a great lady.
So how did she tell you some of his history? Of course, right? So how did he get started? Well,
it all started where I wanted to do something, and this was my buddy Tony Gall's idea. He's like, why don't you do the Best of Show tattoo after like a fallen tattoo artist?
For your show in August.
For my show. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. Like, I could name 5 or 7 guys or maybe even 10 guys that in this area that have passed away, that are in our industry that, were influential in one way or another, like Chops.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I love this idea, like dedicating the Best of Show trophy to someone that passed. So I was like, well, we got to start with Buddy because he was the man.
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to name the Best of Show trophy the Buddy Mott Best of Show, right? And I thought, well, Marilyn just came out with a book. The book was great. Have you read it?
No, I didn't even know this.
Yeah. It's on Amazon right now.
Okay.
You can find it. It's pretty
I'll check it out.
I think it's called Keeping America Beautiful.
Okay.
So that's the story of Buddy Mott. It's easy to find. So I thought, oh, well, I could have her come and sign, copies of her book and then like maybe present the trophy. And I was like, oh, this would be great. But I didn't know she'd be into it. So I reached out to her and she was super receptive, right away. She was like, oh my God, come on over to my house. We can talk a little bit about it. And I want to show you the replica of my father's booth that I built in the basement. So I went over.
That's a treat, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was crazy. So it was the day that you tattooed Paul. I think it was a Sunday or a Monday last week. And we chatted for a little while. I think she was feeling me out just to make sure, I kind of knew what the hell I was talking about.
Right.
Because we'd actually never met. She was asking, who I knew and, how long I've been in the industry and, had I ever met her dad, questions like that.
Yeah.
And we hit it off within 10 or 15 minutes of that. And she's like, well, come on downstairs. I want to show you the replica I made of my dad's booth. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so amazing. Like right when you walk down the stairs, there's the Harley that he rode to work every day is in there. An old,
that's awesome.
An old Roaching, I think.
It's in her basement.
Right there, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And on the bike, he used to do a lot of engraving.
Yeah.
He engraved all the different parts of the motorcycle. So there's just these fun little details everywhere, of him, of his name, and some designs, and it was gorgeous.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then we went into the booth, and she let me sit in the chair that Buddy sat in for 70 years of tattooing.
Yeah.
And it was so uncomfortable. I don't know how he did it.
Ain't no tattoo back then, bro.
The first thing I thought of was man, I paid $300 for the chair I sit in every day.
Yeah.
Made out of like special ergonomic astronaut foam. And like even after like 4 or 5 hours, my back's killing me.
Yeah.
And this chair was like an old Navy issued like chair.
Was it like a hard seat?
Well, it had a little bit of cushion.
Did
there,
it? Yeah.
But like not much.
Bro.
And I thought, man.
They were built different back then. Man.
So they were. They were just strong.
How long did he tattoo for?
I think like 70 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that same chair?
It looked like it.
God bless it, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it looked like it. And then I was able to run his machine that was sitting there, and just we sat there and talked. And she showed me all this cool memorabilia and told me about the olden days, and it was a wonderful day.
That's awesome.
She's such a great lady.
Yeah.
All aces there for sure. So when we started talking about the convention, I wanted to leave it up to her. I told her a couple of my ideas, and I said, but like, I'm down for whatever you want to do. And she goes, well, what if I brought this whole booth to the convention?
Yeah.
And I thought, holy crap, really? She's like, well, yeah, it was actually made
That's
to be.
Insane. Who's going to carry it?
Probably her grandson was there. He was
got
awesome.
help? All right, good.
And her husband, he's pretty agile.
Yeah.
And she said, we built it to be transportable because we were going to do something at a museum. Like they were going to display it at the Newport Art Museum.
Yeah.
And I guess that fell through. But she's like, yeah, it's really not that hard to pack everything up.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I think this is why I'm really excited that you're doing this convention, because you're going to put so much love and attention to stuff that I think matters.
Yeah.
History and the community,
I agree. Yeah.
I don't see a lot of tattoo conventions or tattoo promoters doing conventions doing this kind of thing where they're actually reaching out to the locals, the people that actually mattered. And
absolutely.
You'll see a convention blow in through town and be like, hey, we're a convention, come tattoo. And then they leave and take all their millions. And
the fact that I'm a local guy, I think that's
might
so
be
cool. Attractive to a couple people.
Absolutely.
And I just love the history of it. You know? So this was a great honor for us to have her come. And now that the word's gotten out there a little bit, guys like us, a lot of the old school guys that have been doing it forever and care about the history of it and care about like the little details, they're signing on now. And like, we're going to put like this whole like buffer zone around her of just old school guys that know who she is and respect who she is, and guys that,
so it's confirmed she's going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
cool.
I mean, yeah.
We're going to try. You're going to try, right?
It's confirmed as a handshake.
Yeah, right.
Like, I want her there, and she wants to come. So
cool.
Yeah.
Just in case like something falls through, and you're like, I don't want to promise anything. That's you know what I mean.
No, I mean, she's in.
Cool.
She's not going to tattoo or anything like that.
Yeah, no, she's going to hang
just
out.
Like a display, all the memorabilia.
That is so cool.
She's going to sign copies of her book, and I hope that she, is a judge on Sunday night for the trophy that's in her dad's name.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, she can present it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm excited to meet her, man.
Yeah, very cool lady. Just so cool and easy to talk to.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And I imagine there wasn't a lot of like female tattoo artists back then either, right? Like,
no, there probably wasn't.
She's breaking that ceiling, man.
Yeah, she was probably one of the first around here.
That's
sure.
cool. That's cool.
And
Buddy Mont I think he was like the first licensed tattoo artist in Rhode Island.
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm not
he?
sure if he was number one or Ronnie was number one, but they were
Sailor Ron. Yeah, Chops knew Sailor Ron really well. I remember that.
Yeah, they were pretty good buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, wow, that's wild.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So, like you said, like it's really kind of coming into place here. Everything's kind of falling into place. At first, we were just like, man, what an uphill battle with it. We would, fighting with like finding a place to host it, and then the Board of Health was, difficult at first.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit because I wanted to talk about like Rhode Island and their conventions a little bit. So. We met at one of the New England tattoo conventions. I can't remember who hosted it. There was a separate company.
Yeah.
They did it once, and I think they did it. They were going to do it a second time.
Yeah.
And then they ended up like the LLC like imploded. Somebody was embezzling money. I remember I signed up for it, and it cost me like $600 for a booth.
A lot of people.
I never got that money back, bro.
No, neither did I.
Ever.
I signed up for it.
They got sued out the ass for doing something.
Yeah. But the one that we met at, I think, was a Villain Arts show, and I think that
Villain Arts came in after, though.
Oh, was it after?
Yeah.
I thought the timeline's funny to me. I thought that the Villain Arts show was first.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a Villain Arts show.
They were around the same time, but the Villain Arts they are bulletproof. They know how to host a good show.
Troy comes in and he knows what he's doing. He's been he's got like 20, 30 other shows that he does around the country, right?
He owns like all the pipe and drapes, and he makes his own T-shirts. Like he does everything in house.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. If you're gonna make money, you're gonna do it yourself.
Yeah. So he did like 1 or 2 years, right? I think maybe just one, and then he never came back to Providence.
So why is that?
I don't know. There's a lot of hearsay there, but I heard that it was he just had a difficult time, like with the unions and with getting things done at the convention center because of the holdups with like the labor unions.
Yeah,
that was just what I heard. But.
Does that make you worried about like doing the convention in Rhode Island? Because it's such a good venue. It feels like, right?
Yeah, it's a great building.
I want it to work. I hope it works.
I don't know because I've never done it before. All I can say is everybody that I've dealt with so far has been unbelievable. Like the people at the convention center have been so helpful and
that's great.
So transparent. And like, look, there's labor unions involved. This is Rhode Island and it's a labor city, but like this is how much this is going to cost and this is how much this is going to cost.
Yeah,
and that's it. So
I imagine somebody like big like Troy, he probably has a bottom line and he's got so many people to pay and feed, and maybe it wasn't as lucrative, but I think that this state and Providence, the city alone, we need stuff like this, Yeah,
this is going to be a fun thing for everybody.
Yeah. And that's what, dude, I'm so pumped. We haven't had a convention in like 7 years or something like that. It's been a long time. My cousin Chops, he would do those little tiny
pop-ups. Yeah, those were fun. Yeah,
those were pretty fun. We would do it at like the FET. Was it FET Music? Yeah.
But there's so many talented artists in this area. Rhode Island alone.
Dude,
there's so much talent in this state.
It's like multiplied too.
Yeah.
There's so many shops and like kids will come in and be like, you heard of, Tony Tats down the street? Yeah. I'm like, no. Who the
and they got kids that have tattooed in 4 or 5 years.
Man.
Killing it.
Oh, dude, the bar is raised so high now. Like it's almost expected that like, if you're a tattoo artist, you better be good.
Yeah. Yeah, the scratches are getting pushed out more and more every day. And like there's these incredibly talented young kids coming up, like art students and, people that have just mastered the craft at a young age.
Yeah. You feel like your team is keeping up with the current meta, I guess, in the industry? Like,
I think so. I mean, we're still relevant.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of young artists that are working there that are hungry for it, and they're putting out some amazing work. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah. How long have you been tattooing now, Jeff?
I just found out I recently got relicensed in Rhode Island for the convention.
Yeah.
And I was artist number 126.
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
I think it was in
you're one of like 126 people licensed in the state. You know how many there are now?
How many?
It's got to be I think it's like up in the thousands now, man. Yeah.
I believe it.
It's wild now.
That was 96.
Okay.
And I started, so 29 years now.
Yeah. Oh wow, 29 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Got a big anniversary coming up.
Holy shit! What are you gonna do for it? I would have
been a millionaire by now.
Dude.
Still hasn't happened.
I firmly believe that if you really love this craft and you're doing right by it, you're not going to be a millionaire, unfortunately. But
there's the prize in itself. There's the treasure there. It's like it's been a pretty good life, man. Like I get to draw on people every day and create art.
Yeah.
And, it's given me so much. Like I met my wife tattooing and. I
remember her story about that too. What was her brother was getting tattooed by you, right?
No, her brother was getting tattooed by one of the guys that worked at my shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember like
never tattooed. I tattooed him after.
I remember Jesse being like, "Don't fuck this up," because I like him.
That's her story. I don't know that.
All right. Yeah.
The story that I always tell is I had her in a chair and she was hot and she was kind of flirting with me a little bit. So I was flirting right back. And my buddy Dave had come by just to shoot the shit, and he was kind of standing there and he was trying to hit on her while I was tattooing her.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking dick, right? Like, what are you doing?
Like, cock block, bro.
And he said something along the lines of, hey, what are you doing tonight, Burt? Let's go. We're going to go to the bar tonight and have some drinks. And Jesse said, no, he's not going out with you tonight. And the kid was like, why? And I was like, why? She said, he's taking me out.
Dang, she really did that?
Yeah.
I'm going to confirm with her.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys are such a good couple, though, man. You guys are like solid.
She builds me up. You know, she builds me up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she's got your back 100%. Too.
Yeah, we're a good team.
I know she runs that shop like a well-oiled machine.
She does, and everybody loves her for it. You know, she runs it, and she treats everybody like family that works for us.
Yeah.
And she always, you know, puts in so much effort to make sure everybody's happy.
Dynamic duo, you two.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
behind every good man is a great woman or something like that.
Yep, she'll back you up. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, this has been our brainchild since before COVID, man.
Yeah.
That's how long we've been trying to get this thing going.
Yep.
We're excited about it.
So you've had a lot of time to kind of think about this and like, what am I going to do? And
we've done hundreds of these shows, just like you. You and I have probably done hundreds together.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what works, what we like, what brings the people in, you know, what brings the artists in. It's a fine balance between all of that. Like you can have, you know, just let anybody in and you let a bunch of, you know, artists that you don't vet and kind of look at their portfolios and you end up with a convention full of scratchers. Well, that's not going to be sustainable, you know, and, you know, you want the artists that are going to bring the people in.
I imagine it's like a fine line between like, I want to make sure that I can at least break even, make a little money on the side, but also invite like good people. And how do you attract good people, right?
Exactly. This first time around, like I've talked to some other people that have hosted tattoo conventions, and they all say the same thing. If you break even on your first convention, you know you're lucky.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking at it like that. If I don't make a penny at the end of this, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I just want to put on a really fun event that people want to look forward to coming the next year, and artists tell their friends that, hey, this is a good show, come check the show out.
That's cool.
And we build up that bar and we get like better and better artists.
Absolutely, man.
You know, we got some fun, exciting entertainment coming.
Yeah. We got a few strippers. Stripper poles.
Jesse wouldn't let me bring any strippers. She wouldn't let me. But we're doing like a pinup contest, and there's a burlesque show, and
that's cool.
A couple guys that are coming in playing acoustic, and there's a show called The Three-Legged Dog that I think that they're going to sign on, and just fun stuff like that.
Cool.
We're actually in the middle of nailing down all our entertainment right now.
Yeah.
So we signed one contract with an entertainer, and then we're talking to a couple others. So,
do you have like a count on how many artists that do you have a booth count?
Yeah. The room, we have, they have those big like accordion walls where they block off the rooms.
Right.
So we're taking two of those rooms, A and B or C and D, it doesn't matter. So we're taking up all that room, and there's enough room for 150 booths.
Wow, this is gonna be a big show.
It's a decent sized show. That's not small, I don't think. I've been to shows that are half of that, and it's definitely not huge. So it's right in the middle where it needs to be. So 300 artists and vendors.
Yeah.
But the great thing is because they have those accordion walls, is we have room to grow. So if the show is a success this year, which I think it's going to be, and it looks like we'll be able to, take over the next room and the next room, and hopefully in 5 years from now, this could be a 300 or 400 booth convention.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Exciting. But right now, we're just focusing on this year. We want this year to be awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the best shows I've been to, it's like, the community is so like together, like like some of the biggest artists just from the local area will go to these things, and it almost feels like a high school reunion in a way. You know what I mean? But
everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah. But there's something so great about that, like having that community, as opposed to like it's cool like getting somebody from California and somebody from Kansas, and they're all coming to the show. Like that's cool to see as well. But I think something that makes it so rich is like I said, doing what you're doing, getting local giants, local legends coming out, checking it out, promoting it.
I agree. So, like, I think that it's going to probably be like 80% Rhode Island artists and 20% out of state.
I mean, that makes sense. So there's an issue with the licensing, right?
Yeah,
so,
well, it's just harder for the out of state guys to get licensed at it.
Yeah.
So if you're licensed in Rhode Island, you just basically buy a booth and then you're good to go, because your license that you already have in Rhode Island will like transplant right over.
Yeah.
So it's super easy for anybody that's licensed in the state. But the guys that are, from out of state, there's a couple extra steps. It's not that bad, though.
Is it? It's not?
No, it took me like a half hour just to sit down and get everything done. Yeah. Then the people at the convention center have been awesome.
Yeah.
Subcontractors that have to come in to set up the staging and the piping and the sinks, and everybody's been pretty awesome. Pretty easy to work with.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now we got about a third of the booths already sold.
Yep.
Which I think is great.
That was quick.
I know, right?
That's going quick now.
Nobody buys one booth anymore, Fred. Like,
no, I know. Yeah.
Everybody's like, put me down for 5. And I'm like, whoa. All right. And like, so, and the other thing too is, when's the last time you booked a booth 6 months prior to a show? Or what? Probably 5 months away now.
Oh, I
never booked that far in advance.
I do now.
You do?
Yeah. Which reminds me, I got to pay you.
I take cash.
Yeah. But now, like, dude, I almost missed Tommy's convention because they were already running out of booths.
Oh, you're going to Tommy's?
Well, not Tommy, but the New England tattoo. Yeah.
All right, I'll see you there, buddy.
Yeah, so
I should call Brittany and tell her to put us next to each other. That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably too late now, but
can't hurt to ask.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But I've always booked my conventions about 2 months prior.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I didn't know that was last minute.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, you get a busy show, like, that's last minute now, like, because that's what we did with New England, and they were like, you better hurry up.
Yeah.
They're running out of space now.
It was weird because when we first opened registration for it was like a week or two, we didn't sell a booth. And I'm like, what the hell? What are we doing wrong? Like, we're looking at the website, we're talking to a web guy, we're like, something's wrong. And it was just, people weren't just ready yet.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like once we sold one, we sold 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened really, really fast.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's so cool.
Which is good, because a lot of what we've had to pay for so far, it's come out of our pockets.
Yeah.
So now that we got a little bit of money coming,
if it's you're
can pay
getting a little replenished now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
Dude, it's got to be so cool though when you do something yourself, like at this scale.
Yeah.
Too, and then you see it starting to work. You know what I mean?
It's starting to work.
Yeah,
like the website.
It's got to feel good, right? Yeah.
When we first started the website, like, it was just ideas and concepts and sketches on paper and like notes in a notepad. And now it's like it's a pretty good looking website. Thanks to my boy Matt. He's shout out to Matt.
Dude,
Fine.
the website looks clutch.
It's clean.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. And
like when you go to the landing page too, and you just see like this video, like the video banner, and then my boy Jeff like zapping somebody. I was like, oh shit!
And then the next picture's like a wolf.
Yeah, but it was so cool though. And then like you have like the overhead shots of Providence.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
Clean looking.
Yeah.
It's funny when I first showed Jessie, she's like, "Oh, I love it." She's like, "What the fuck's up with that wolf?" And I'm like, "I like it. I don't know." Like, and he just randomly like threw it in there, but I thought it was cool. Yeah. But everything's starting to come into place.
Yeah.
So excited about it now. Yeah.
That's
it's been like a full-time job.
Yeah.
We just took
I imagine.
like a massive amount of work.
Yeah. And you're still working full time too, right?
Yeah. Between the two shops, Jessie too, we're both running both shops, and we're trying.
How many days a week you tattoo?
I'm doing 5, and I'll tell you, there was last summer I was doing 4 days a week, and I felt like it was so awesome to tattoo 4 days a week. I had that one extra day just to kind of work on drawings a little bit more and just kind of like decompress almost.
No doubt.
And I don't know what happened. Like we started getting really busy, so I started doing 5 days a week again, and I'm still on that schedule. But now that we get a little bit closer to the convention, I'm thinking about dropping Tuesdays and just focusing on convention stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't even have. Well, I'm 5 days a week as well, but so I was sick with the flu last week, like I said, I was hit hard.
Yeah.
I had to cancel all my appointments And that was a bummer too, because I know some of these people have been waiting like months, 4, 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, shit, yeah. So then you feel obligated to go in on your day off,
dude.
On Sunday.
Yeah, and I am like a couple of clients. You know,
you got to take care of your clients.
Bless their hearts, they kind of gave me shit about it. I'm like, look, man, I was sick. Like,
yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
ultimately,
it sucks, but I think what some of them don't understand is like it's not just you that's getting fucked over because I got sick. It's like 10 other clients, so I have to find days for all of them.
Yeah,
and then keep them happy, and that also means like jettisoning somebody else off of their original appointment and maybe like moving them like a week or two over so I can put in another client.
It's a whole balancing act to get all your appointments to work when you have to miss time like that.
So I was talking with May and Michelle about it too, and because Michelle she works 4 days a week.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to do that because then I'm home and I'm like, what the fuck am I like? I want to be at the shop, you know? Like I love being here.
Yeah.
Maybe I have an unhealthy relationship with work, but I fucking love this job, dude.
Yeah,
like I want to be here all the time.
That's good.
I want to be tattooing. I want to see what, you know, all the younger artists are doing and shit. And I just like being here. So
well, you're a big mentor to them. Like all the younger artists that are here. I see how much they look up to you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was talking with Michelle and May, and they were like, well, maybe you could do like every other Tuesday. That way, if you do have a cancellation, or if you want to fuck off and take a day off, and you can still like, if you need to, you have an extra Tuesday open that you can put somebody on, you know?
Right.
Because also for me, like, I like making money too, you know?
Money's good, but like there's also like you gotta take into consideration that like our day doesn't like start and end when we're tattooing. Like there's hours that I draw in the mornings, and there's like I'm up until 11 o'clock at night sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like we definitely put a lot of hours in.
Yeah.
And like when you look at a tattoo artist that's charging like $200 an hour, I feel like that's probably an average number. I think people will think, oh, Jesus Christ, this guy's fucking, you know, like he's getting $200 an hour and he's not even like working, you know, a full shift. But like we are, believe me. Like there's a lot of shit behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yeah.
The drawing at
night.
No,
that's no doubt for sure. Yeah. No, I agree. Like, yeah, people definitely think that I'm like rich. Yeah. And I'm fucking not. Like, well, I think the shop owes me like $30,000, you know, and it can't pay me right now. Yeah, so from last year, because we, you know, opened up the shop and everything.
Yeah.
So there was a huge difference between like, so Michelle doesn't work Tuesdays and I do. So there was a huge amount of like a discrepancy between us. And she was like, I didn't make as much as you. And I was like, dude, you don't work Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that feels pretty good though. But I respect her too. And she, you know, she was like, I like my time off, you know, like that's me time, you know, like exactly. So
what's your time worth? That's,
you know, it's give and take. So that's why I'm thinking like, maybe I'll do, you know, a little column A, column B, do some Tuesdays and maybe not, you know? So,
but I'm really leaning forward, or I'm leaning towards Tuesdays off for a little while, just leading up to the convention.
Yeah.
Not to just sit around and watch, like, you know, binge watch something. It's like I got to do shit for the convention or do stuff for work. So even though I'm
and still have time to be a husband and a dad too, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that part. Yeah. How do you do it, dude? I don't have kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what that life is like, but to be a tattoo artist, and like May and I have talked about it before, and I was like, she was like, I don't know if I would ever want kids with us doing this job, because it's like, we already have so much on our plate now. Yeah. Like, how do you guys do it?
One day at a time, I guess. Yeah. It's the balancing act. I mean, Jesse's amazing with balancing life and business, like better than I am.
Yeah.
But we just put out dumpster fires all day long, I guess. You know,
it's just part of the course, yeah. Wow. That's so cool. And, I mean, you have a good relationship with your kids, too. I know that, like...
Yeah, my daughter's in college now. She's a freshman.
That is wild.
Doing great.
Dude, when I met her, she was, like, She was this big.
Remember the time I sent her into your shop?
Vaguely. What did she ask for?
I sent her into your shop. She must have been about 10. And I was like, go in here and pretend like you're lost. And she came running in. And she's like, I lost my mommy and daddy.
I don't remember seeing her. Did one of the girls at the front see her? Like, oh, shit.
Girl, Jess Brennan, working at the
time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, she got all pissed about it.
Yeah.
And it surprised me because Taylor's usually pretty shy.
Yeah.
So, like, her doing that, I was like, wow, she's actually going to do this.
Yeah.
She did it.
She's not shy anymore, that's for sure.
She still is sometimes.
Is she?
Until she opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good kid, man.
Yeah, she is. She's great. And Hunter's 14. He's going to be in high school next year.
He's like a mini you. Like, I see, like, that's all Jeff right there when I see that kid, you know?
He got all my looks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's built exactly like I was. I was always a big kid when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And he's just got the same build as me.
I can't believe how tall he is. You know, it makes me feel old a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember he was just a squirt when
He's towering over Jesse now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think I might be an inch taller than him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Holy shit. That means he's taller than me. Holy fuck.
Yeah. And he's got the same size shoe as me at 14.
Yeah.
So now he's stealing all my fucking boots and shit. That'd be crazy. But he's a great kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they're going to help us out at the convention a little bit.
Yeah.
Come down and, I don't know, sell T-shirts or something.
Yeah. Do you think that Hunter's going to get tattoos one day?
He's all about having sleeves now.
Really?
If I let him, I think he would have sleeves now. Taylor's 19 and she has zero interest in it.
Wow, it's funny how kids like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when I was 17, I was like, I couldn't wait. I'm gonna get this tattoo. Yeah. You know.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
And I was so intrigued when I got my first tattoo. I asked the guy so many questions that I think at one point he's like, "Will you just shut the fuck up, kid, and let me finish this tattoo?" Yeah. That was over at.
He was like, "You wanted a fucking apprenticeship or something?" Like, Jesus.
Well, it was in '94, I think.
Yeah.
'93. I graduated high school in '92, barely, and this was soon after that. Me and my buddy went down to Federal Hill in Providence, and we went to Artistic Tattooing.
Are they still open? I think they're still.
Not sure. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, a well-known shop back then, and got this sick medieval knight holding a shield with an eagle on the shield. That's flash
you were like,
number
this is fucking
B17.
badass.
I thought I was so cool.
You even knew the flash number? That's hilarious.
I made that part.
Oh, right. That'd be great. B17, $50.
I think that's what I paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of got its claws in me. I was just really interested ever since.
That's cool.
What about you? I mean, I know you went to art school.
I went to, like college and all of that? Yeah. Like, my story's like all over the place. So
Did you want a tattoo when you were in college? Was that?
I think so. I think it was like a pipe dream, dude. You know, because like, I loved being in the tattoo shops. Like, I had a bunch of tattoos by then already. And, it spoke to me in a way that like an office job behind a computer did not, you know? And I think that's where like
you had already had a couple tattoos by this point.
Yeah. And I didn't know this. I thought it was just cool, but I didn't know that I was a little bit more degenerate than
Nobody told you?
No. I was just like I was just like a little punk rock kid, you know what I mean? And I just liked going against the grain, and I knew that people like adults around me wanted specific things for me. You know, they wanted me to be successful. Like my parents always, no matter what, they wanted me to be successful.
Well, what parent doesn't, right? Like that's
of course, you know, like a good parent wants best for their kids, right? And like to my mom and my stepdad, that looked like, I don't know, some kind of office job, or I don't know exactly what, but I think they hope for something good for me. Tattooing was not it, because I remember I told my mom that I wanted to be a tattoo artist, and I got an apprenticeship, and she was bummed out about it.
She wasn't happy.
She was not, she was like, all right, I guess, But
she didn't know anything about it.
I almost quit school for it. So there was a tattoo shop in was it Dartmouth?
She probably didn't realize that there's actually like, money to be made.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, even like 15 years ago, like, think about how far tattoo has changed. It's become so mainstream and so accepted. Yeah. Even 10 years ago, it was not like, it wasn't as accepted as it is now.
Sure.
So we're talking like almost 20 years ago. And I had gotten offered an apprenticeship in this tattoo shop in Dartmouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you didn't start at that
place called
Portsmouth?
No, well, I did officially, but I was getting tattooed at oh my god,
one near King's Inn in Dartmouth.
Yeah. It was called FU Tattoo.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember. I got tattooed by this guy named Wayno. This big guy. I think he works at like there's a place in Swansea now.
Okay.
Atomic Ink.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's at now.
Yeah. I know a couple guys that work over there.
So
is he the owner?
No, I don't think so. No? He's been around a while though. I remember like I went in there and I knew that I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could get an apprenticeship, like maybe something on the side, make a little money while I'm going to college, and I brought like my portfolio. Like I was like, you could tell that I went to like a decent school because I had like everything put together and everything. And
which is something they'll teach you how to make a nice portfolio, right?
I was lucky in that sense, very privileged in knowing what right looks like. I came from a military family. I knew that this is how you put shit together and make people want to hire you, So I was lucky in that sense. I put together this like awesome portfolio. It was nice and clean. I had like a nice binder, put everything in like plastic sleeves and everything. But it was all like digital work and like class work and stuff. And like, I think I have the portfolio somewhere and it's not good, but like back then you don't know any better. You're like, this is awesome. This is going to really win them over.
Yeah.
And it did. Like they gave me a shot, but the owner was like, you're going to have to be here full time. And I was like, well, I have class,
Yeah.
And I remember her saying something like, well, you're going to have to pick and choose like what you want to do with your life. And if that means quitting school, then this is the job. This is what we're offering,
this is what we need from you.
And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm thinking about quitting school. I want to become a tattoo artist. She was like, fuck no. Yeah.
I love your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom's so awesome.
She was like, absolutely not. She was like, you better stay your ass in school.
Yeah.
So I had to turn them down. It was so embarrassing too, and shortly after, like that shop like imploded, and I think it became Paradox Tattoo.
Yeah.
Which is actually where I don't know if you know Bobby Kane,
I don't think
tattoo artist. He does like all this new school stuff.
All right, yeah.
Similar to like he's definitely influenced by Joe Capo.
Oh yeah.
And what was the other guy? He's another really well-known dude that used to work there.
Was it Neil England?
Yeah, Neil England, and his work was fucking phenomenal,
he's
dude.
So good.
Like so crazy.
Yeah.
Really nice work, and that's a guy that can do anything.
He's like pretty much phenomenal at every style.
Yeah. Anything he would do, like black and gray, new school, old school, like he could do it all. And I was like, holy shit.
I haven't heard his name in a while. I wonder if he's still around.
I think he is tattooing. I look some of these guys up every now and then just to see what they're doing, and they're all still tattooing,
Yeah. It's funny that you said that you might have that portfolio sticking around somewhere.
I'm going to look for it.
I recently was going through some cabinets in my booth, and I found this old portfolio of mine, and I was like, oh my God, like burn this thing.
It almost hurts to look at, right?
Yeah. Painful. Yeah.
But, like back then too, you're like, this is the best I got. This is me at like 100%.
These pictures of tattoos were so old that they were like actual photographs that I had developed at like and I had them stuck into the book with the plastic.
I remember that. I remember going to tattoo shops, and that's what they had. They would have like family photo album binders, and like like the sticky plastic shit you got to pull up, and then you paste your 4x6s, and
Well, there was a time that every artist at a convention had one of those on their front table.
Yeah.
Like, showing off their work with a portfolio, exactly like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And now nobody does that.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I actually have a tablet now. I put up
people
on the
put
table.
a tablet up where they're like, oh, you want to see my work? Go to my Instagram page, and here it is. And they have a follow me on Instagram sign out front.
I still like the old school portfolios. You know, I get one
a couple
printed
guys
every now and
still
then.
Do them, but you don't see them much anymore.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, not to change the subject completely, but so with all this technology and stuff like permeating into the tattoo trade, you have AI, you have pen machines, you have cartridge needles, you have all this new shit.
Greatest lights in the world. And
Instagram. And like weirdly enough, tattooing, I feel like kind of survives on the internet now. Like I haven't picked up a tattoo magazine in years. And that used to be the place where you like, if you were anybody, you were in a magazine. You know what I mean? It was like I made it my goal. Like I'm going to be in fucking magazines one day. Still haven't made it yet, but
they all went digital, right?
Yeah. So, so it doesn't really matter. Right. Nowadays it's about like your personality and you know, how do you get people, because again, like I said before, it's not about how good you are at tattooing. That's just a given. If you're a tattoo artist, you got to be good. Yeah. Because everybody's good.
It's like,
so what are you bringing to the table? Exactly.
How can you like entertain and pull your viewer in?
Exactly.
To get more followers?
And honestly,
I'm not great at that part of it.
Well, you do have a great personality, Jeff. You know, and I think that even though that it's not online, you've been doing this for so long. You have such a great following and you've built this community.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Of course, man. And it's true. I see it, you know, like
it's comical though when I see these young artists that have a shit ton of followers and then like their work is okay, but then like their whole presentation, how the pictures blend together and they have like the right music to it and there's a dance to it. And
I don't even think that's relevant anymore. Like follower numbers is bullshit nowadays. Yeah, because you can only reach like 7 to 10% of those followers anyway.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
So really, what it's about is how are you hooking in the people, the small number of people that are actually looking at your stuff. You know what I mean?
And I think that there's a seminar here. I think that like there's some people that are so good at what we're talking about.
Of course,
how to work social media.
I've taken some of those seminars. Yeah,
that we're talking about offering a couple seminars at our convention, and that would be one of them. But I wouldn't even know who to reach out to.
I don't know if he'd do it. You should check out Ryan Roy. Yeah. Good dude. Yeah. I've taken some of his seminars, honestly, and
it's like an online thing.
Yeah, he started off as like the tattoo finance guy, like helping helping tattoo artists like get out of the pirate life and actually save like a retirement. Yeah, because there's no everybody knows that there's no retirement plan for this kind of job, and there's no health care. You got to do it all yourself. Yep. You can make a lot of money, but if you don't have like a solid grasp of like financials and what those finances can do for you, or even how to like implement them and invest in a smart way, you're fucked. Absolutely right. That's why they call it the pirate life. You know, it's just like cash in hand, out the other. You know what I mean? It's just, and at the end of the day, if it's just cash and you're not keeping track of it, it's just grocery money. You know what I mean? Exactly. You can't buy a house because you don't have any records that shows that you're actually like a viable, safe bet to make sure that you pay, like the banks can't trust you. They're like,
most artists will live like that for a certain amount of time.
Oh man, they're like, oh yeah, what do you make, $20,000 an hour? And they're like, or $20,000 a year, and it's like, well, yeah, like on paper, you know what I mean? But you ain't buying a house if that's all you can show on paper. You know,
you're not going to get that car. You're not going to get that loan.
So my point was, originally I went off on a tangent, but stuff like physical portfolios and things that people aren't doing anymore because there's so many technological advances in tattooing. Yeah, that's going to show up more now.
You think so?
I know so, because kids grew up today like everything online. So anything that feels like a little antiquated or different, it feels like a novelty to them. Yeah, they're like, whoa, this is cool. Like there's kids buying like old school Sony cameras, like point and shoot cameras on eBay because it's a novelty and it's neat and it's interesting and it's not what they grew up with. So
isn't it funny how things,
yeah, man.
back in life.
So like business cards, any kind of like cool like marketing paraphernalia, getting out there and hitting the bricks and passing out flyers. Like people look at that as like, holy shit, I haven't seen one of these in years, and they'll, it kind of grabs their attention a little bit more than, because everybody's on this. Yeah, everybody's so it all looks the same over time. You know what I mean?
I was walking around Providence, I think last weekend. I went to about 20 tattoo shops and gave them flyers. I thought that authenticity
absolutely
been a little more memorable.
Absolutely.
It's
the same.
Media.
It's the same idea as like when politicians or like grassroots politicians go door to door and still talk to people. You know what I mean? Everything's online.
Cool. I got like a really receptive welcome at a lot of shops, but there were a couple shops that were like 20-something-year-olds that couldn't even take their eyes off their phone while I'm trying to talk to them.
Yeah, right.
A little funny like that. But for the most part, it was. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah,
there were a lot of shops that were really into it, and every shop that I went into, I'd heard about it. So the word's definitely getting out there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any like younger people sign up?
There's been. There was a shop that just signed up from Connecticut that I looked at. I try to look at everybody's portfolio or their online presence, just to make sure that they're pretty solid.
So you're kind of vetting people too. Like, are you inviting people specifically to be like, hey, I'd love for you to be here? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. Like, I want it to be loaded with people that I know.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the greatest convention in the world if it was loaded with tattoo artists that I know. Yeah. That would be awesome. So yeah, I've invited a shit ton of people, but the people that I don't necessarily know, I'm checking out their portfolios and making sure that.
Yeah.
There was this one convention I went to, and I'll never forget it. On day one, there was this girl that got this bullshit snake tattooed on her arm, and it was like the worst fucking tattoo that I'd ever seen in my life. It was so bad. Like, he tried to put all these tiny little scales on it freehand, and like, it was bad, Fred. It was bad.
Oh no.
And like, they dragged him out of there. They were like, get the fuck out.
They dragged him out of there?
Well, I don't know if they dragged him.
By his ear.
They kicked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
The booth stayed vacant the entire weekend.
Whoa.
That shop was never allowed back.
Holy shit.
I had heard that the artist or the owner of the shop was like, oh, he's an apprentice. Like, he shouldn't have done that. I didn't know that he was going to do that. And he was trying to,
This sounds familiar, actually. I feel like I'm starting to remember this.
Yeah.
What show was that?
It was like... It might have been that Massachusetts show out in Worcester.
Yeah.
I feel like it was that one.
Okay.
And we were right next to him, and I remember the girl was bawling her eyes out. But I'm like, didn't you see the fucking stencil? Or like, are you that oblivious?
Maybe the stencil looked better than the tattoo.
I don't know. I don't know the whole story there, but I remember seeing a picture of the tattoo, and it was like bad.
That's one thing that drives me nuts. Yeah. And, I'm guilty of it too. Like... Again, to talk about portfolios, I saw some of my like first 2 years, like work from my first 2 years, and it was dog shit. Well, it's not good, man. I was like, I had no business showing anybody this stuff, like it just wasn't consistent enough. Like, I would do like 4 shitty tattoos and have like a really good one that was like a breakthrough, and then I do like 4 or 5 more shitty tattoos,
Yeah.
And to think there's like 2 years worth of people just walking around with shit tattoos from my first 2 years it hurts,
How was your mentor? Like, was he on you, or would you just like a long leash type of thing?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like I have my issues with my mentor, but I will give him the fact that he really tried to show me what right looks like.
Yeah.
He was a former art student himself.
Yeah.
He worked as an illustrator, like a commissioned illustrator, for a number of years.
Yeah.
So he really tried to get me to think outside the box. Like, he was not interested in any kind of like traditional tattoo, like American traditional. He wanted to be like the guys in the magazines that were really kind of pushing the bar,
Oh yeah.
So, my apprenticeship was largely, mostly drawing, and it was all about like getting the forms right and making sure that things look good, and like tips and tricks on like how to do different techniques, and like in like smoke and chrome and all these like little fun, like how to make like a gem look translucent but shiny on
like the gem you put on my hand.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Need a little touch up over here.
Yeah, we can go through it, man. I'll hook you up. But I definitely have to say, like, he was good in that sense that he,
that's good.
Yeah, he really challenged me.
That's
you
good.
know what I mean? So
yeah, the guy that brought me up, man, opposite of that.
Really?
Within a month of me signing up there, and I didn't know shit about shit. I just know that it was, could be a fun thing to do, and drawing on people's skin. What's wrong with that, right? But when he finally took me on, within a month he had me like doing tattoos that I shouldn't have been doing, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Back in the day where there was nothing, there was no internet, there was no, there was no way for me to really, compare that what he was having me do was the way that it should be done.
Yeah.
But like, he kind of just threw me in, and I did my best to, come through that, and kind of taught myself, really.
Yeah. I feel like that's what happens with a lot of artists is that one thing needs to be said about the apprenticeship, mentorship, relationship in tattooing is that even if you're a good tattoo artist, you might not be a good teacher. And there's a lot of shitty teachers out there,
Yeah, that's very true.
It took me a long time to figure out actually how to be a good teacher, like a good mentor.
Yeah.
And even today, like I don't necessarily have it all together. But my heart's in the right place. I will do my very best to make sure that I can get a kid on track to where I think they need to go or where they think they need to go.
And there's a lot involved with apprenticing someone.
Dude, it's a second job completely, and it's a completely different thing. Like you can do something well. Now explain what you do.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
How you do.
Or like there's a lot of times where you probably don't want to stick around for an hour after work to teach someone some technique or whatever, but like that's part of the job.
Yeah, and it's a painful thing. Nowadays, a lot of it's like, watch what I do.
Yeah.
Now explain it back to me. What did I do?
Yeah.
I am very hands-on. Like I like having like it's weird too because every kid is different. Every artist is different. What they need is completely different from another.
And how you talk with them is a little bit different than the next person.
So, it's part of it is like letting them catch on to your teaching style, but also tailoring your teaching style a little bit to match how they learn as well.
And then also
it's a dance, man.
Entertained where they don't want to go off on a tangent and not really absorb what you're teaching them too. That's so important.
Yeah,
like you kind of make it fun.
Yeah. And not to kiss your ass or anything, but you've raised some accomplished tattoo artists, and I think that's something to be said.
I've had a couple come through,
bro.
Sure, yeah.
You've taught a lot of people, and most of them I've seen it, whether they stuck around or not, they're successful,
Yeah. I saw Shelby the other day. She's doing great. Yeah,
that's cool.
She's so talented.
Yeah,
she's
she is.
Down at what's that one right in downtown Providence? Torchbearer.
Torchbearer, yeah.
Yeah, I walked in there when I was doing the flyers, and it was great to see her, man.
That's cool.
She came running across the shop, gave me a big hug, and we chatted for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was great to see her.
She's happy over there, yeah?
Yeah, I think she found her spot.
Yeah. That's good.
You know who taught me more than anything?
What?
Tattooing was Nate Ton. He's the one that hosts
he does the Boston Tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah, like when when I decided to open up Pleasure and Pain, right?
Yeah.
The guy that I was working for down in Newport, he fired me right on the spot. He didn't want me taking any clients with me. He didn't want me to, he was
the guy that you apprentice for?
Yeah. So he fired me on the spot.
Really? What the fuck? Oh, no message. All right. Sorry about the interruption, guys.
Yeah.
So
we were talking about how my apprenticeship went.
Yeah.
My apprenticeship went. He didn't really show me much, He just kind of threw me to the wolves. And a lot of what I started learning was just like things that I had to pick up along the way. And it was all kind of like rattling around in my brain. And then when he fired me, I ended up working up at Lightwave with Nathan.
Why did he fire you?
Because he found out I was going to open up Pleasure and Pain.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah. Which I had no business opening a shop.
How long? I mean, yeah.
Years. And I didn't have any money.
I was in the same boat too because I did the same shit
Really?
as well. Yeah.
But I had this client who he had some money, right?
Yeah.
And he was a chef, and he said, "Listen, I've been saving money to open a restaurant," but he was also a fine art major or something like that. And he said, "How about we open a tattoo shop together? You apprentice me to tattoo, and we'd be 50-50 partners."
Was this Tony?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This kid Dave.
All right.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure. And it worked out for a little while. We were good friends, and we had a little bit of a falling out. But he was the means to an end for me. Had he not done that, I don't know where I'd be right now.
Right.
Like, for sure. It was a big move in my life right there, a fork in the road.
Yeah.
But after I left Acupicture down in Newport, or Middletown actually, I needed an income while I was building Pleasure and Pain, so I worked for Nathan up at Lightwave, and he taught me so much. Like all those things that were rattling around in my brain.
Yeah.
Like I think this is how you do it, but I don't know.
He kind of organized it for you.
Yeah, he sorted me out a lot, and I just owe him a lot.
Yeah.
He's a good
I know you guys have been friends for a long time.
Yeah,
and
I've been friends with
he
the
hosts
guy
the Boston Tattoo Convention.
Yeah.
Such a crazy, huge convention.
Yeah, he was the first guy I called when we got the green light and this was going to happen. Before we put it out into the universe and before we really told anybody, I said I got to call Nathan. I just want to talk to him for a little while and just feel him out, let him know that I'm not trying to step on his toes and
no doubt
try to do it on a different weekend. And I didn't know if he was going to be like funny about it or if he was going to be supportive. And like right when I called him, he was so supportive.
That's awesome.
Anything you need, let me know. I'm going to tell you, don't do this, but definitely put money into this, and don't waste your time with that. And he helped me out a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And like any smart businessman or business person is going to know that it's not bad to have like some competition or something too, because it's going to. First of all, there's plenty of skin out there.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's just gonna make the market better. You know what I mean? It means the market's good if there's more shows.
Yeah.
It's gonna force the successful ventures to raise the bar a little bit. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, you don't want to be in a town with a shitty shop. If there's a shop in your town on the other side of town that's putting out dog shit work, that's not a good look for anybody in that area.
Right.
Because I'd rather have someone that is, raising the bar a little bit, like
Absolutely.
putting out some solid work. Like that's the name of the game, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I also talked to Tommy, the owner of Tommy Supplies.
He's going to be sponsored. He's a sponsor too for the show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's good for him too.
So helpful and supportive. Also,
that's cool.
Telling me same thing as Nathan. He was like, "Well, this is how we do it, and this is what I've asked him a couple scenarios, how do you work this out?" And he's like, "Well, this is kind of what we did, and I'll take that and I'll kind of run with it."
Yeah.
And then I also called John from Spider Bite. He does the Live Free or Die show.
Yeah.
And same thing. He was psyched, and his show was the weekend before mine.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, "You got to be a sponsor at my show. I want the name of your convention all over all the swag that we give away.
Yeah.
And make sure you bring lots of stuff because ours is the following weekend."
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. You're one of those giants now, dude. You're one of the guys now, man.
I appreciate you saying that. Thanks, but I don't feel like it. But I appreciate
that's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
Stay humble and dude, I'm telling you, you're not successful alone. You gotta build that community,
I just hope the show kicks off and it's awesome. And
I think it's gonna
has a great time and wants to come back the following year.
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit of chatter and.
That's so cool.
Check out the Providence Tattoo Convention.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We just I've been talking to this girl that works at Iron Fist Tattoo in Cranston.
Is that okay? Is it Iron Line or
Iron Hand?
Iron Hand.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. She works for. She works over there, and she does this flash swap thing. Her name is Ashley, and she's been doing it for a while now. And we're gonna have that at the convention. I thought that was kind of fun. So on the after party on Friday night, We're gonna have it at I think the Trinity Ale House.
Yeah.
And we're gonna.
That place is cool.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a flash swap. So if you bring a piece of flash, you get to swap it with someone else.
That's cool.
That's fun, right?
Yeah,
so
dude.
if you bring 10 prints, I think that you could.
That's
get
how it used to
10
be
different
too.
prints,
Yeah,
right?
man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Ashley, what's her name? I want to give her a shout out. Ashley. Hold on. I forget. I just met her. Ashley Jocelyn.
Ashley Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Shout out Ashley Jocelyn.
Yeah, thanks for working with us, Ashley.
Fuck
That's great. And we got Narragansett Beer. I think still hasn't given us the green light, but we're still negotiating with them. And
okay.
I think they're going to be a big.
That'd be an awesome sponsor to have you too.
Yeah, they're a big company in Rhode Island.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
Have you been to their brewery?
I have not. I heard it's really,
there.
really cool.
It's right on the water at India Point.
Yeah,
and,
because I think like what is it? One of the newspapers. Is it Motif magazine? Yeah. They do their like award ceremonies every year there.
Yeah.
And I think Michelle actually took a couple awards home for like best, best tattoo artist, best
so good.
color. Dude, she's
her
phenomenal.
Work is amazing, man. She's so talented.
And she's only gotten better. And I think in this past year, like her work is just like blowing me away right now.
Because she has that extra day off every week.
That's probably
what it is. Yeah. Maybe if I take off 2 days off,
I'm very fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy, you know. Probably a little similar to you. I remember talking to Paul about you, and I was like, fuck, Jeff's fucking work it. Because you're like all in on the American traditional, but I can tell a Jeff Burt piece because it's got like this ornate flavor to it that I really like.
Oh, thanks.
And Paul was like, I don't know what the fuck he does it because like Paul's like, I have to like plan everything out and everything.
You should
and Jeff's
see his formula, like for a tattoo. Oh my god! He's so well prepared.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. When I draw something, I'm lucky if I have 3 layers. One in like scratchy red pencil.
Yeah.
A finished draft, and very rarely. But
well, he says you come in like tattoos are a pop quiz, and you're just like, yeah, let's fucking do it. You know, draw this up real quick. And then you just pump out this fucking crazy half sleeve or something. You're like,
kind of how I do it, man. That's just how I came up. I like to do a lot more drawing on the skin lately. Yeah. And I know that you love doing that. Right?
I do, yeah. I do both now. So I will stencil a piece, and then any like cool backgrounds or like any additions, I like to draw it in because sometimes it flows way better on the skin if you just draw it on them. You know?
Absolutely. You know, I was on the phone with Jeff Miller, and he tattoos down in Philly. He used to work at Seven Swords with Mike Chambers. Yeah. He's a phenomenal artist. I love his work so much. He used to teach a Procreate seminar when Procreate was still kind of new. Yeah. He was teaching the seminar. So I was like, I'm going to reach out to him and see if he still has something kind of cooking for a seminar at our potential show. Yeah. So that's basically why I called, and we chatted about it for a couple minutes, but he said, no, I'm a little bit out of the loop. He said, honestly, I'm trying to draw everything on the skin now. Yeah. And I was like, everything? Like, what do you mean everything? Like, you mean everything?
Fucking tall order, bro.
Yeah, and he's like, it just works for me. I love what I'm doing now. And I mean, look at his portfolio. The guy's solid as fuck. So he's trying to like basically draw everything. Yeah. From scratch. Like, not like kind of what you do is a lot like what I do. Like, I'll stencil something and then embellish it a little bit with the markers. He's drawing everything.
That's great. With the amount of AI right now too in tattooing, I hate it.
I hate it too, but it is a tool, and if you don't, you know, like just taking something from AI and slapping it around the skin, I think that's fucked. But like, you know, like a crutch a little bit sometimes, you know, I'm guilty of it.
I don't like it. You know why? Because I used to be able to find good references online, and I can't find shit. It's all AI now. Yeah. And if it's not AI, it's I don't know what happened to Google, but it's not a good search engine anymore, man. Yeah. I can't find like real references anymore. I've actually...
What's it going to be like in 10 years?
Bro, I've started buying books again. Like, I'm increasing my reference library now.
That's smart. Yeah.
It's the one thing I like. I don't want like books? AI images because things like, for one thing, it feels soulless. I know. Like, it just feels like this amalgamation of a bunch of like different things mashed together, but not in a smart way. Just more of like a weird, cold, calculated kind of way where and if you're not careful, you get like poor references, you know, because it'll fuck things up a little bit.
You think it's just because it's like in the infancy stages of its existence, AI in general.
I don't even think it's an infancy stage now. I think we're kind of like it's like a teenager now.
Yeah.
Like we talk about it a lot on the podcast too, because it's something I necessarily. I don't like it, man. Yeah, no, I think it's going to hurt us in the long run. You know.
Well, we're creating an intelligence that's smarter than us.
Yeah.
And that's just inherently flawed right there.
People are losing their jobs over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even
we're creating a god.
Dude, it's kind of scary, man. Like, a lot of people are going to lose their livelihoods because of this. And they've been talking about it a while. And it's already happening, you know? Like, half the jobs at like the post office and, you know, a lot of these government jobs are just going to be taken over by AI. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's not good.
I was talking with my.
You think we're going to be okay as tattoo artists?
For a little while. I think that's where it's going to come in. Where like you're always going to be have a viable business if you work on your community. You keep that community. I guess safe from, like, I hate to say it, but you gatekeep. A lot of people don't like gatekeeping, but keep that AI shit out of your community and you'll be all right. And if you offer your clients something that most artists aren't offering, then you're going to be fine. You know,
it's already so interweaved in our communities now, and
you have to look at it as like tattooing has ebbs and flows, and sometimes it's in vogue and it's a fad, and then sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's done this. I mean, I've only been doing this 16 years now, but even in that short amount of time, I've seen it go up and down.
Yep.
You know, some clients will come in and they are just visitors. Not everybody's meant to have a tattoo because they don't understand the implications, the consequences of actually having, like, adorning themselves on their body, you know? And I think that's important to note that, like, you're going to have people that come in once and will never come in again. And that's fine.
I had this kid come in, not to cut you off, but it was our last session on a sleeve. And I asked him, I was like, so how do you like it? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, how do you like having like a big substantial tattoo like this? Do you get in a lot of interest, a lot of people talking about it, and like, how do you feel about wearing it? And he's like, that's a weird question, I never really thought of it like that. But it's like, it changes you, right, to have like a huge tattoo that, like,
I think it does,
attention. Like, you walk into a room and you're having a whole bright ass colorful you know sleeve like that. You can't help but be a conversation piece, right?
Right.
Like, it's an icebreaker. Someone's going to be like, oh, where'd you get your ink? And then you're going to talk about it. And it's interesting.
Yeah, I genuinely think that some people are just visitors in this. For other people, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yep. It's part of their personality, you know? Mm-hmm. So in saying that, I think that... I forgot what the fuck we were talking about beforehand.
What were we talking about? I was talking about the sponsors. Did I get through them all?
Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah, they do. Like, that's the funny thing about tattooing is they may hear, oh yeah, Fred Cheatham, he's amazing. Go to him, get a tattoo from Fred, he's so good. But they could come to you and ask something that you don't do at all. And it's like, well, did you even look at his portfolio? Because you would know that this isn't a tattoo that he would. That's
a newbie to me. A lot of newbies do that because they just think like, oh, you're a tattoo artist. You can do it all. Like, you can do it all. Or they just look at you as like not an artist, but like a copy machine. Yeah. Like, I want a tattoo, and this is what I heard you were good, so this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I think a seasoned client is gonna look for something specific and be like, I want you to do that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So again, talking about visitors, our job is to convert a visitor into a possible lifetime client. You know, and how do you do that? You know what I mean? Again, not to bring it back to community, but that, we want to like convert all these little people into the tattoo religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you build up a friendship with them.
Exactly.
It's not something once where someone was like, oh, don't befriend your clients because then you feel obligated to hook them up with a deal or something or whatever it was. But I'm like, I'm friends with all my clients.
Yeah, me too.
I become like their buddy. Like I know like when they're, what their kids are up to.
Absolutely.
And, like, their wife's name, and I become, friendly with all of them.
I think that's good for business. That's good. And not just business, it's good for your soul, man. Like it's.
How can you sit in a room with someone for 4 or 6 hours and not communicate?
And I think that's why like there's so much overlap with therapy and tattooing because for one thing, therapy is still kind of has some stigma around it, especially with men.
Yeah.
A lot of guys. But you get a guy in a chair and you're like just drilling on him and it's hurting. People get weird about pain and then they just start opening up, like it's happened to me time and time again, and then I honestly think that what we're doing is it's kind of like it's like a bloodletting. It's like a ritual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah, you're doing like this thing that like it's
taboo. It's not really like the normal thing to do to put yourself through that pain, and in doing that, you develop a little bit of a kinship with the person that's doing it. You have some similarities in your lives. You have a bond.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a passing of energy there for sure. And if the vibes are good and you're connecting with that client, like they notice it, they recognize it too. They might not be like aware of it, but there's nothing better than getting tattooed and getting through like a 5-hour session. Yeah. And like it being the worst
and on that end.
Yeah. And then feeling like, holy shit, that was awful, but I feel great now. Like there's something so cathartic about it, physically, emotionally. Absolutely.
Like maybe chemically, like there's an endorphin thing, or maybe spiritually. Yeah. Like something has just kind of like changed in you.
Oh, look who's here.
Hi. Oh my God, it's great to see you. We were just talking about you. Yeah. How talented you are, how amazing.
Michelle Carter, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, we are about an hour and a half in, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Real quick, Jeff Burt, everybody. Jeff, why don't you tell the crowd one more time what's going on with your convention? Sure. What is it called? What are the dates for it? And how can you sign up?
Okay. Providence Tattoo Convention down in downtown Providence at the Rhode Island Convention Center. It's going to be August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Michelle Carter will be there. We're hoping to have lots of fun entertainment, talented tattoo artists from all over the New England, really. Haven't heard of anybody outside of New England coming yet. Although Jeff Miller from Philly said he might come.
All right, cool.
Technically, he's the furthest traveler that we have so far. I got this kid down in Texas that I'm going to reach out to and invite him also, so he might be it. But we're going to have entertainment and contests and just some really good times.
Awesome.
Please check us out.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, Jeff. I really appreciate it, man. And I love you, and I'm so happy for you. I think it's going to be a really awesome show. So
yeah, I hope so.
All right, guys. We will catch you on the flip side. See you next week, guys.